If you've followed me for a while, you know that I absolutely love infrared saunas, right? But what if you don't have an infrared sauna available to you? Or what if there's no room in your apartment for a sauna? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Infrared sauna mat. So you can just come home and while you're watching Netflix, you can just turn it on and have access to an infrared sauna right in the comfort of your own home. I use mine all year long, but it is especially cozy in these winter months that are coming up. So if you're interested in finding out more and getting a little discount with your infrared sauna mat, I mean, what better gift do you want to give yourself with the little detoxification that you can do every night if you want? Check out the link below to learn more. Welcome to the Sacred Medicine Podcast. My name is Margaret Romero. I'm a Columbia-trained functional medicine nurse practitioner, and here I uncover the truth behind chronic illness so that you can finally heal. I'm a women's health and hormone expert and love empowering women to finally live their life fully and powerfully through optimal health. This is the Sacred Medicine Podcast. You were listening to the Sacred Medicine Podcast. And so it is just a couple of days away from Christmas, and I wanted to pop in here and, just go over a couple of things that could help you get through this really busy, hectic season healthy and making sure that you are doing some really good things for yourself and for your body. Okay, so here are a few things that you can do. I'm not saying don't go to parties. I'm not saying don't have the desserts or drink the alcohol. I'm just saying that if you are, that maybe if you have things like glutathione at home, take some. That would be good to help the liver process the alcohol so you're not feeling like crap the next day. When it comes to food, okay, if you're going to indulge one night, just try not to do it every single night for the next 14 days. It's a little too much for your body. All the sugar, the alcohol, not good for you. What it does actually is decrease your immune system, thereby leaving you really susceptible to anything or anyone that's around you that is also sort of maybe has a little viral infection or something like that. And like a cold or a common cold, leaving you really susceptible to catching that. That's why this is the time and the season that everyone gets sick, right? It's because from October 31st, Halloween starts with the candy. Then it starts with, festivities and Thanksgiving. Another time when people are overindulging. And then it goes right into December with the office parties, the house parties, and all of that. And so lots of sugar, lots of alcohol for 3 months. And then people get sick. And so that is why this is a common time when most people get sick, because of the intake in sugar and alcohol, and they're not sleeping or drinking too much and then waking up the next day feeling hungover. And so in order to save yourself a lot of that, or getting sick or getting the flu, because it seems like the flu is back, try to just curb it a bit. And if you're going to have alcohol, then maybe having some glutathione that night. It comes in many forms, but I like the liposomal. There's also, it also comes in a topical spray as well. So and most of you who are listening most likely will be going out or doing something. I always opt for intimate gatherings, to be honest with you. I did not go. I was invited to a big party, a New York City apartment party last weekend, and I did not go. Because there were probably going to be about 50 plus people in the small space. And honestly, I just wasn't ready to be around that many people right now, because everyone's eating and drinking. So no one's wearing a mask, right? Which I don't like having to have a fear about that, to be honest with you. I don't like living my life like that. But the truth is that I also work in the medical field and I kind of see what has been happening and the trends and whatnot. So I didn't go. And what I'm doing instead is I'm hanging out with my family. So it's only going to be like 4 or 5 of us. That's not a lot of people. Plus we all have we always get tested beforehand. But the other thing I do, like the last week in December, typically for the past several years, I will go to this yoga retreat center, and they don't have that many people. They've lessened the number of people that go. But I love it for like my downtime. I love it to just kind of get away for a night or two. And there will never be like small rooms with like 100 people in it. And I can choose to do those things or not. And it's kind of like a little R&R for a couple of nights. It's in the Berkshires. It's called the Kripalu. And so that's what I'm most likely doing next week, when it tends to be really slow. And for me, it's a time of restoration, relaxation, planning for 2022. And if that sounds like something you'd like to do, then, make some time. A lot of people are off or have limited work hours. My recommendation is, look, pick a day next week, last week in December, plan out a little mini schedule. You want to go on a trip or two? Put it in your schedule. Oh, I definitely want to go to this place for my birthday in May. And so put it in there. Plan for it. Because then you'll know, then it'll be June. We'll blink and it's June and half the year is gone, right? Like that's happened to all of us. So take some time, but also take some time for you. If you feel like napping, if you haven't caught up with like a novel that you're reading or a book that you bought, but you haven't had a chance to read. If you haven't seen your friend in a long time, meet up with him or her. If you want to do a little spa time, go and get a massage. Have this time, it's winter. It's a time when we need to sort of restore ourselves. And the holidays make us all crazed. It forces us to go out and shop and be festive, which is fine, which I love too. But also know that will be a pocket of time when most people aren't really doing much of anything. And then we're waiting for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and almost life is kind of back to normal. So take this time. It's usually slow for a lot of people to, plan for next year. Pick a word that you want for next year. The word that you sort of want to bring into your life, and how will that show up in your life? Words like fun or surrender or freedom, things like that. So pick a word. This is what I always do every year. I focus on something. This year is the word I'm going to be focused on. And how can I bring this into fruition? How will this show up in my life? And how can I create it? It's not going to just magically show up. You need to sort of start. If you want freedom, what does that look like then? What does that mean? Does that mean more vacation? Does that mean you actually going away rather than not using up your vacation time? What does that mean? Does that mean like every 90 days you're on a weekend trip somewhere? Does that mean less hours at work? Does that mean going from full-time to part-time? So kind of think about this. And there's so many words. In the past, I've had the word freedom. I mean, freedom for me has always been like my go-to word. It is the thing of my life. And it may even be the reason why I don't have children, because I have always desired a life of freedom, to wake up whenever I want, and also being an entrepreneur now. 100% of the time, I no longer work for the urgent care or anything. So I make my own hours, my own schedule now. It's been really, really nice. But it's taken me a while to get here, for sure. So pick a word that you would love to, a couple of words if you want, that is what 2022 will be for you. And I know we're all going through stuff, and it's such a challenging time. I'll tell you though, one thing that saves me from getting wrapped up in the everyday of fear and all of that is that I do not watch TV. I do not have the news on TV. I do not wake up to the news because it has been, oh my gosh, it's just filled with dread after dread after dread, right? I wish there was news that was just good. I wish they just had a channel that I could click to that would just be really good news, because so many good things happen every day. But we would never know it if we watched the news. So I choose to not allow the people that make the news affect my life on a daily basis. I do not want to start my morning by actually affecting my nervous system. It affects us, our adrenals, our cortisol. And if we're living like that day in and day out, what do you think it's doing to us? What do you think it's doing to your adrenals? I mean, my goal has always been to not live in that sympathetic. We have our nervous system consists of the sympathetic, which is kind of like fight or flight. It's like someone's running after you. You have to do something. Oh my God, run. Versus parasympathetic is when you're relaxed and you're more calm. Everything is easy. You're not scared or fearful. And so I prefer to live in that space. And so I create my life in that way, because I'm here to serve women who have autoimmune conditions. I cannot allow the fear that the news produces to get me off kilter so that I am not able to help women and affect me on an emotional level. And so I choose what comes into my life, what I choose to look at. Even the people that I follow on Instagram, I choose who I get, who is allowed into my life, who I pick on Instagram to watch, And so I'm very mindful of that. Who gets access to my nervous system? Can you imagine that by watching the news every day, you're allowing the news into your nervous system to affect your nervous system? It's insane. One of the things that I do on a daily basis is I use this essential oil. I love it. It's called parasympathetic. And you put it behind your ears, like right behind your earlobes. And it calms you because it goes right into your vagus nerve. It's very calming. And so I'll put the link in the show notes. You get a little discount. It's called parasympathetic. And I love it. And every day, even if I have like a really busy schedule that day, a busy day can be a little hectic, trying to fit everyone in, trying to, make sure I get my lunch in, make sure I'm, have time to get a walk or whatever. And so I'll use this on a daily, and it's just, and I'll take it with me if I'm going away or anything like that. I take it while I'm on a flight, and I love this. I'm holding it right now in my hand, and it's just been a godsend for me. It really has. So if you're feeling anxious, I think this is an amazing tool. If you feel like at the end of the day, you just want to wind down, you can put this behind your ears. It's also really good after meals because it helps for you to digest. Your body cannot digest well if you are, anxious, have tension, if you are having a very emotional time. Your body's like, wait, what's going on? I'm you're in fight or flight. You're not eating. I mean, how can you digest while you're running? Imagine that. Like fight or flight means you're like running away from like a tiger chasing you. Your body is doing that. It's not prepared to start digesting. So think about that. So for this holiday, take some time for you if you can. Be good to yourself. Nurture yourself. Read that book. See that friend. If you've just been wanting to even organize a little section in your home, do it. Something, make your space feel really good. You want to buy some candles, light them. It's just make your space cozy. Do something for you. You have the time during, Christmas and New Year's. Like I said, it's kind of slow. Maybe you haven't baked in a while and you really miss baking, or you miss cooking, or you want to try a new recipe. This would be a really great time to do that. I love this time. And that's when I go away for a couple of nights just to sort of recharge, get out of my apartment. And this place, it's a gorgeous drive from where I live to where Kripalu is, which is in the Berkshires in Massachusetts. Oh my gosh. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous drive. Windy roads. I take the back roads. There's waterfalls on the way. Farms. It's just like streams, rivers. And so I love it on so many levels. And they have the most amazing, healthy foods. So, that's always a concern of mine. Like, wherever I'm going, is there going to be healthy food? And this place does it right. Let me tell you, it does it right. So, I want to wish you all an amazing holiday season. Happy New Year. I will see you all next year. I'm taking the last week off of this month. Thank you so much for listening in on me every week. I really, really appreciate you. And wherever you are in the world and you're listening to me right now, many blessings to you and your family. Be well, be healthy. Take some time for you. You deserve it. And I will see you all in January. And don't watch the news. Try not to watch the news. Bye for now. Much love. If you have been inspired and have learned so much from these interviews, I would love for you to head on over to iTunes, leave a review, and subscribe to the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.